Hey everyone, I'm Jason, and this is your commentary on Leviticus chapter 9. This chapter is about Aaron presenting the offerings before the Lord. It's broken down into 3 sections. First, we see Moses telling Aaron and the people about the offerings as well as the blessings. Secondly, we see Aaron performing the offerings or sacrifices. And lastly, we see the blessing that God's going to give to the people after the sacrifices have been done. On the 8th day, Moses sent for Aaron, his sons, and the elders of Israel. He said to Aaron, "Bring a bull calf for your sin offering. Bring a ram for your burnt offering. They must not have any flaws. Offer them to the Lord. Then speak to the Israelites. Tell them, bring a male goat for a sin offering. Bring a calf and a lamb for burnt offering. Both of them must be a year old. They must not have any flaws. Bring an ox and a ram for a friendship offering. Sacrifice all of them to the Lord. Also bring a grain offering. Mix it with olive oil. Today the Lord will appear to you." The people got the things Moses commanded them to get. They took them to the front of the tent of meeting. The whole community came up close to the tent. They stood there in front of the Lord. Then Moses said, "You have done what the Lord has commanded, so the glory of the Lord will appear to you." Moses said to Aaron, "Come to the altar. Sacrifice your sin offering and your burnt offering. Pay for your sin and the sin of the people. Sacrifice the people's offering. Pay for their sin. Do just as the Lord has commanded." We see in verse 4 and in verse 7 that the Lord will appear to the people. All they had to do is just obey what God had commanded them. So Aaron came to the altar. He killed the calf as a sin offering for himself. His sons brought its blood to him. He dipped his finger into the blood. He put some on the horns that stick out from the upper 4 corners of the altar. He poured out the rest of the blood at the bottom of the altar. He burned the fat and the kidneys on the altar. He also burned the long part of the liver. All these parts were from the sin offering. Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He burned up the meat and the hide outside the camp. Then he killed the animal for the burnt offering. His sons handed him its blood. He splashed it against the sides of the altar. They handed him the burnt offering piece by piece. It included the animal's head. Aaron burned everything on the altar. He washed the inside parts and the legs. He burned them on top of the burnt offering on the altar. Then Aaron brought the people's offering. He took the goat for their sin offering and killed it. He offered it for a sin offering. He did just as he had done with his own sin offering. He brought the animal for the burnt offering. He offered it in the way the law requires. He also brought the grain offering. He took a handful of it and burned it on the altar. It was in addition to that morning's burnt offering. Aaron killed the ox and the ram as a friendship offering for the people. His sons handed him the blood. He splashed it against the sides of the altar. His sons also brought the fat parts of the ox and the ram. They included the fat tail and the layer of fat. They also included the kidneys and the long part of the liver. Aaron's sons placed everything on the breasts of the animals. Aaron burned the fat on the altar. He lifted up the breast and the right thigh and waved them in front of the Lord as a wave offering. He did it just as Moses had commanded. Then Aaron lifted up his hands toward the people. He gave them a blessing. He had already sacrificed the sin offering. We see that with everything that Aaron did, he did it just as Moses had commanded him. And Moses was commanding just what God had told him. It's very important that the high priest would do exactly as God told him to do. We've talked about it earlier, that every part of the sacrifice has meaning. It's foreshadowing the coming of the Messiah. Aaron is the high priest, and he represents the true high priest, Jesus, in offering sacrifices on our behalf that remove our sin. Then Aaron lifted up his hands toward the people. He gave them a blessing. He had already sacrificed the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the friendship offering, so he stepped down from the altar. Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting. When they came out, they gave the people a blessing. The glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. The Lord sent fire on the altar. The fire burned up the burnt offering along with the fat parts. All the people saw it. Then they shouted for joy. They fell with their faces to the ground. When Aaron had finished, the people were blessed, and they saw the glory of the Lord. So what parallels can we draw from this passage? We have a high priest whose purpose is to present a sacrifice that will restore us to God. The sacrifice had to be pure and spotless, and he had to be without sin. When he steps down from the altar, after fulfilling his purpose, then he will go away for a time. When he returns, we will see the glory of the Lord. Fire will come down from heaven. All people will see it, and we will finally be filled with joy. That's it for our commentary on Leviticus chapter 9. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.